If you want to change your life, change the way you live, start off by making your bed every morning. Making your bed every morning will be the first task completed in your 24-hour day. And it will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do further tasks. Maybe do the dishes, clean your room, go to the gym, do your homework. And eventually, you will start to realize that if you're not able to do the small things in your life, how are you going to be able to do the big things? And even though you've had the worst day of your life, you will still come home to a bed that you made. And therefore, the first step towards a better life and success is to create new habits. And before moving on to how to change our habits, maybe we have to think about what a habit is. So what is a habit? It's something that you do on a regular basis, sometimes without even knowing that you're doing it. For example, we wake up in the morning, we go brush our teeth. That's something that we just do and not think about. Hopefully, everyone does it. And the spectrum of habits is infinite. We have bad habits and good habits. Bad habits can be that you stay up too late and don't get enough sleep, so you don't have the energy needed to perform at your fullest potential the next day. It can be that you spend too much time on your cell phone and social media instead of doing something productive that your future self will be proud of. And we want to break these bad habits. We want good habits, that we go to bed earlier and wake up earlier, and we have that energy inside of us to perform better. Maybe we want to read a book before going to bed, or become more healthy, go to the gym. But today, I'm going to focus on one specific bad habit that me personally, I struggled a lot with this a couple of years back, and I think a lot of us has at least once in their life experienced this bad habit. It's called procrastination. And before moving on to how to overcome procrastination, we first have to define it. So what's the meaning of procrastination? We can define it as it's the habit to keep delaying something that must be done often because it's unpleasant or boring. And I can be honest, even though my teachers are sitting here right in front of me, most of the things we do in school, we find it boring. The assignments we get, it doesn't give any interest in us. We're sitting in the classroom like, why should I know Pythagoras' theorem and when will I use it in my life? And me personally, a couple of years back, I struggled a lot with procrastination. In school, I didn't hate going to school. I liked it. But I found the things in school so difficult. Every test, every assignment was like someone punching me right in the face. And I realized that I had to change at some point. I can't keep living like this. So I realized one day that, am I a procrastinator? No, because there is no such thing as procrastination. Because now I want you to close your eyes and think about the thing you're procrastinating on the most. Now imagine someone holding a gun to the person you love the most, telling you that if you don't get the thing you're procrastinating on done before it should be done, the person you love is gone. At this moment, I imagine that every single person here would put 200% effort into getting something that they're usually procrastinating on done, because now you have a reason. We don't procrastinate because we find things boring. We procrastinate because we don't have a reason. We don't have an ambition to put in the work needed. And I can tell you that every single successful person in the world, through their life, they have experienced periods that they had to go through things that they didn't even like. They didn't enjoy it. But they had to overcome those things in order to reach their goal. So how did I find my reason to change the way I live and to change my habits? Well, since I was a kid, I didn't really have so much confidence in myself. I didn't really believe in what I was doing. I needed to find something in life that could bring some joy into me, that could give me some motivation. So I started playing football because that's the one thing that I will always love until I die. And many people, they make jokes with me that every time I have these kind of presentations, I always bring up the aspect of football. But it's the thing that has made me the person I am today. And therefore, it's very important to me. So, my football journey. And I have to tell you before going into this, these changes, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Consistency is key. And this is a picture of me when I started playing football. I was the worst player in the sport. Even though I loved football, I couldn't play. I could barely run. I could barely pass a ball. I had zero technique whatsoever. I remember my coach putting me into a game. After 5 minutes, I was exhausted. I couldn't play anymore. And I was a defender who didn't really run so much. But I loved what I was doing. Every time I stepped foot into that field, I felt happiness inside of me. And I had the ambition to work harder and improve. And one day I realized that this kind of mentality I had in the area of something I love, football, perhaps I can use that into something that I was struggling with, which was my school life. So I created this kind of method called the rewarding method. But for example, I came home from school. I knew I had math homework that had to be done. But I also knew that I had football practice. So I had a choice. Do the math homework after the practice, after I'm completely exhausted and couldn't do anything, or rest a bit after getting home, do your math homework, then you can enjoy the things you love in life. Because after I did my math homework and went to practice, the moment I stepped foot on that field, I could feel relief. I could now do something I love. Being at practice for 2 hours, enjoying myself. And after that 2-hour practice, I didn't have to drag my fat ass home and do my math homework because it was already done. And of course, this change, it doesn't happen overnight. It took time. I remember in the beginning, I had been to practice for like 2 months, working every single day, as hard or even harder than the other players. So one day we were sitting in the locker room, me and my teammates. The coach came up. He had a list of players. We were going to have some kind of tournament. My name was not included. Even though I had been to practice every single day, my name was not included. I approached the coach because I was curious. I was like, why am I not playing? So he told me, you're not good enough. You're not keeping up with other players. You're not good enough to play. And in this moment, I had 2 options. One, be sad, cry, go home and complain to my mom. Or take that criticism and prove that person wrong. And that is what I did. I changed. I improved myself. Because the most motivational speeches I have heard in my life is from people telling me that I can't do it, that I'm not capable of it. That's the thing that triggered me the most. Because now I had a reason. I had another reason, not only to improve myself, but to prove the person's wrong. Because even though you're doing great in life, everything is completely awesome, someone will always come with some negativity towards you just to bring you down again. And I can tell you that playing football was not only the best thing that ever happened to me, but it made me the person I am today. But we also have to be realistic that there will be hard times. Every time you reach a peak in life, life is always trying to knock you down to the slump. And surprisingly, 1 year ago, I quit football. After playing 9 years, becoming the person I am today, I quit. Because suddenly, this fire I had inside of me, this ambition was gone. And I didn't enjoy what I had been doing for so long. So I had to change. And to be honest, it was the most difficult time in my life, because of something that was so important to me was gone. And even though I always seem to be this kind of happy person when people meet in the halls, inside I was kind of depressed. And I've always been the kind of person that likes to keep my personal things for me. And that's maybe not a good thing, but that's just the way I am. However, in this situation also, I had 2 options. Stay in the slump, or get back up again and find a new reason, something that could trigger me again. So I started exploring new things. Maybe I wanted to go to the gym more often. I wanted to read more books. Meeting new friends and interacting with people, that is something that can motivate you. Because now I realize that life is a path. You have different paths. I had a path with football. It ended. I had to find a new path. But I always bared in my mind that during this journey, I'm always carrying a bag. Inside that bag is the hard times. It's all the sacrifices, all the pain you've gone through. It's the character, the person you have become is inside that bag. And that is something that no one can ever take away from you. Because even though I didn't make it to Real Madrid playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, something that is more valuable, something that I can be more proud of, is the person I am today. Because that is something that will be with me until the day I die. So always keep in mind that when people are born, we're always born on the same level. What happens next is completely up to you. Your actions decides your future. I remember sitting with my friend one day, we had an exam. I asked him, curiously, how do you feel about the upcoming exam? He said to me, well, I hope I will be lucky, pass. Of course, I can understand that people think it that way. I also do it. But in these kind of situations, you can't rely on luck or faith. What happens next, the outcome, is completely up to you. But you always have to remember where you have been, where you are now, and where you're heading to. Because if you go back in time and ask 13-year-old me, if I will be standing here today talking to a lot of people about my personal life, he will then say, no, that's impossible, I will never do that. Well, here I am standing in front of you. So, always keep in mind that mentality is key. It doesn't matter how talented you are. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. If you don't have the correct mentality and being ambitious, nothing will work out. Therefore, when you step out of this room, I want you to start breaking the bad habits before the bad habits break you. And that moment, when you start changing your life, it doesn't start on Monday. It doesn't start in New Year's resolutions. New Year's resolutions, forget that. That's completely nonsense. I've tried it myself. It doesn't work. I want you to ask yourself, the moment you step foot out of this room, I want you to ask yourself, did you make your bed this morning? If you made your bed this morning, what's the next step? Thank you for listening.